bill, this big, massive bill right now?
I think my voters in West Virginia, but I don't speak for the whole country, my voters a lot differently, but they're very much concerned. Inflation has hit them extremely hard. They have to drive. Their mileage for driving to work is quite onerous on them. And the cost, they see it every day. Every day they go up and fill up, it's $1.25 more a gallon. So they're in $3.29, $3.39. Gallon of milk is now around $4 in many places, and it's taking a toll. And I hear it when I go to the grocery store, or if I go to the gas station. They say, "Are you as mad as I am?" And I says, "Absolutely."
Hey folks, so we got some good news about the fourth stimulus payments that you just have to know. Be sure to stay until the end of this video to find out more information about the fourth stimulus check, and if our seniors will get a $1,400 stimulus check from President Biden. You guys don't want to miss out on this very important stimulus check news. So over 500,000 people in Maine will receive a stimulus check from their state government. That's in the coming weeks. The announcement came from the governor after a bipartisan bill allowed for a check of up to $300 to be passed earlier this month. The governor hopes the direct payments will help Maine families to some small degree during the holiday season, as they work to fully recover the economy. And there are also two main requirements that relate to one's work history and income. No action needs to be taken to request a payment, as the Maine Revenue Service will determine eligibility. That's good news, folks. And to receive the check, a person must have worked throughout 2020 and have submitted a tax return. Plus, the governor of Maine has described the check as a hazard payment of some sorts, which seems to help the hardworking people that are keeping the state running. So what about your state? Is your state doing the same thing as the state of Maine? Has your state sent out their own state stimulus payments? Tell me in the comments down below, folks. Now, Democratic leaders have set an aggressive schedule this week for Biden's $1.75 trillion spending bill. That's what Nancy Pelosi has said, and she said that it must be passed if they want to go home for Thanksgiving. So the current plan is for a debate on the measure to begin Wednesday, with a vote on passage expected sometime between Thursday and Saturday. One source inside the House Democratic Caucus Tuesday meeting told reporters that Pelosi had vowed that members would not leave Washington until the Build Back Better is passed. What are your thoughts on Nancy Pelosi? Can't she get the job done and send out the fourth stimulus check in time? I want to know your thoughts on this, everybody. And while moderate Democrats have asserted they will not support the measure without more information from the budget office, the bill hopefully will get passed by President Biden. And also, a report on the full bill is not expected until Friday. Democrats have pushed back the timeline for the bill's passage multiple times, as the party factions struggle to come to a consensus on what the whole party could support. Steny Hoyer told reporters that he believed work on the bill would be completed before the end of the week. Hoyer told reporters, "I hope to vote on it as soon as Thursday, but perhaps on Friday, and we're going to get it done this week." Do you believe that they can get the job done, folks, and send out more stimulus payments? Tell me in the comments below. So folks, the Congressional Budget Office score is expected to show that stepped up IRS enforcement of tax laws would yield significantly less than the $400 billion in revenue projected by the White House estimates. Biden and other administration officials have insisted that the social spending bill is fully paid for, with the president himself saying the measure costs $0. On the other hand, Senate Democrats hope to pass Biden's social safety net and climate plan before Christmas and put the finishing touches on their agenda before next year's midterm elections. Now, Schumer may have to make changes to the House plan to keep his whole caucus on board and pass the bill. That's if the Senate makes tweaks. The proposal will have to go back for the House for a second vote. Democrats don't want to see the process slip too far into next year. And substantial legislation often grinds to a halt during election years. Beyond efforts to pass the two planks of their agenda, Democrats try to find the best way to pitch Americans on how the policies will benefit them. So, what are your thoughts on President Biden, Chuck Schumer, and all of our members in Congress? Can they get the job done and send out more stimulus payments this year?
Mr. President.
The Majority Leader.
First, I know, Mr. President, you will be taking the floor in a few minutes. I spoke about the bittersweet mood we all have of your departure. Bitter in the sense that you've done so much for the Senate, for Vermont, for America over the years that we will badly miss you. Sweet because you'll get to spend more time with Marcel, your children, your lovely grandchildren, and you deserve it. After all these great years of service, it's one of the most extraordinary records any senator has compiled in the history of this country. So thank you for your service and your continued service through January of 2022. Now, on infrastructure. Yesterday, our country took a major step forward to prepare our economy for the challenges of the 21st century. As we all know, the American people have been told for years, that another infrastructure bill was coming, one infrastructure week after another. But after yesterday, we can now tell the American people that an infrastructure law is here. The President signed it yesterday. The enactment of bipartisan infrastructure legislation is so long overdue. There isn't a community in America that doesn't have some glaring need. Crumbling roads, dilapidated schools, untrustworthy bridges, overburdened airports, seaports, and railways. The new infrastructure law will tackle these challenges head-on. And I thank the President and my colleagues from both sides of the aisle in making yesterday possible. The President's infrastructure bill can be summarized with a four-letter word, J-O-B-S. Jobs, jobs, jobs. More local jobs, more good-paying jobs, more union jobs. Unions, as we know, have been a ladder up through the decades, and they will continue to be under this bill, as there will be more of them. And the jobs will put people to work on projects in every state and every community. In New York, my state, dependent on good transportation. Major undertakings like Gateway, the Cross Bronx Expressway, the 2nd Avenue Subway, I-81 in Syracuse, the North Inner Loop in Rochester. The list could go on and on and on. All of them will finally get going again. Have a great chance of that happening after years of paralysis. And the federal dollars that the government is sending to the states is already having an effect in my state. Yesterday, our governor announced that because of the federal dollars, there won't be fare increases or cutbacks in service on the MTA and the commuter rail. That is really good news. Well, what's happening in New York holds true in every other state in the nation. Major projects that have been long awaited have a real good possibility of getting going. So there's great news, and jobs, jobs, jobs will rain down on every state. So there's much to celebrate with yesterday's signing. And in the weeks and years and months and years to come, the American people will see the benefits with their own eyes. So I want to thank President Biden for finally delivering on something that previous administrations have tried to do but have been unable to complete. Build Back Better. Make no mistake, we will keep going in the weeks ahead by passing the rest of the President Biden's Build Back Better agenda. It's very simple. If we want to create more jobs, if we